Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is part 3 of my golf mental game. In today's video we're going to be focusing on golf anxiety. There's 3 questions I want to answer in this video. The first thing is, what is anxiety? The second thing is, how can anxiety impact your golf game? And the third thing is, how can we combat and fix our nervousness on the golf course? Anxiety pretty much means overthinking about the future and what can happen in the future. Let's go through some examples of how anxiety can impact your golf game and make you think negatively. Now, for example, in this spot here, I'm thinking, right, that was an okay drive. I've got a really tight lie, and the pin's right at the front, so I have to carry it there. I don't want to thin it, I don't want to chunk it, so already the anxiety of thinking about what's going to happen in the future has put me in a negative mindset. And what's happened? I've thinned it off the back. So having anxieties about the future often comes around because of things that have happened in the past. This hole's a prime example of how that can happen. So now I'm thinking in my head, because I've thinned those 2 shots, I'm in a really bad spot. I have to 2-putt this here. So already I'm putting so much pressure on myself, thinking I have to do it, or that'll be really embarrassing. So in my head, the anxiety is now brought up, and I'm thinking, oh God, what happens if I don't 2-putt this? That's going to be a double or a triple bogey. That's going to be an absolute disaster. Another way anxiety can happen is overthinking a situation. So, for example, on this tee shot here, as the cars go past, there's a road directly just off the fairway on the right. So the anxiety is thinking, oh God, I don't want to slice this onto the road. So anxiety can come about in different ways. You can think about bad things happening because of the past, and you can think about bad things happening because you don't want something to happen so badly. Okay, it's faded a little bit. Another example of anxiety that can happen during golf is thinking about your scores. So what happens to me is when I usually start well, I'll end up overthinking my score and thinking, oh God, I'm playing really well, when am I going to screw this up? And more often than not, I do screw it up and I go and shoot 10 to 15 over. And that's why I'm stuck at a 10 handicap. For me personally, I don't really get nervous on the tee. My anxieties always pop up in and around the green. So for example, when I'm in a tricky spot where I don't think I'll get up and down, I get very nervous that I'm going to make a mistake. Negative mindsets start to jump in, and I start to have negative thoughts of what can go wrong. So for example, don't want to thin this and end up back down the hill, or I don't want to chunk it and land it right in front of me. I don't want to thin it off the back. Whereas what I should be thinking is, right, let's try and get up and down here. Let's just kill it at the top of the hill. Hopefully it pops up and just stays near or in and around the flag. Okay, I pulled it a touch, but we're going to have a putt. See if we can get a 2-putt there, come away with a par. For me, for someone who often overthinks putts, I can feel it already just now. I'm starting to get a little bit anxious over hitting this putt. The 3-putt is on the cards. This is what usually happens. Good drive. Try and stay in a positive mindset, but those negative thoughts and those anxieties often take over. Oh, thank God. Okay, so what can you do to overcome your anxieties? The first thing that Golf Sidekick often says is have 2 different boxes. Have a thinking zone and have an action zone where you hit your shot. So, for example, if you imagine a line across you there, behind the line you're thinking about the shot, what you're going to hit. And as you step over the line, the thinking is done and the action takes place. If you think about the definition of anxiety, by overthinking, being nervous over the future, having these 2 separate boxes means you have less thinking time and more action time. So usually when you're nervous, you take ages over your shot. As for example, all I want to do is pop it up just on the green, let it filter towards the flag. As I cross this line, I'm not thinking about anything else, I'm just doing. Okay, picking the spot I want to go to, across the line, have a look. Okay, good shot. So I took hardly any time over the ball there, and it meant that the positive thing happened. Usually when I'm nervous, especially around the green, I'll stand there for like 30 seconds, like twisting the face and thinking, oh well, maybe I can do this, and as you've done that, you've overthought every bad scenario, and more often than not, a bad outcome happens. One of my weaknesses is putting, and often I'll stand over the ball overthinking, so something I'm going to try and do is incorporate this into my putting. So pick a line. As I cross this line, I'm just going to step up and hit it. Think about pace. Go in. Oh, great effort. So already that's the first hole of using the thinking box and the action box, and already it's a really simple par, and I feel quite confident over the next hole. The second thing I'm going to try and do to try and combat my anxieties is do the Nick Faldo technique. So Nick Faldo, he says, as he approaches the tee shot, he says to himself, what do I want to do? So instead of thinking about all the bad things that might happen, so the guy's on the right of the fairway there, I don't want to hit him, I don't want to go left because then I'm behind those big trees. The thing that he asks himself is, what do I want to do? So what do I want to do? I want to aim for the bush on the left side of the fairway, and I want to just fade it into the middle of the fairway. Okay? Incorporate that with the thinking box, across the action line. Okay, I've pulled it a touch, but the line's good and I'm in play, so that's fine. So being the anxious and overthinking golfer that I am, there's a lot of things that can go wrong here. So obviously the tree's in the way on the left, the bunker at the front of the green. But I'm going to try and incorporate these positive techniques to try and hit a good shot. So, Nick Faldo technique, what do I want to do? I want to hit it just to the right of these trees, try and carry that bunker, and hopefully it sticks onto the green. Combine that with the thinking box. I've made my thoughts of what I want to do, aim for just edge of the tree. As I cross that action line, I'm just going to hit the shot. That looks perfect. Spot on. Okay, I think I'm pin high, so that's 2 holes in a row I've incorporated these skills, and I'm already starting to see the benefits of it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to incorporate that same thing into here, so Nick Faldo technique and the thinking box. So it's just, I think it's just going to be a cut out to the right. Actually, let's go straight at it. As I cross the action line, I'm just going to hit. Not standing over it too long like I usually do. Drop. Oh, it's a great effort. So usually, as I said in the first part of this video, I'll be sitting there over the ball, overthinking, going, oh, I really don't want to 3-putt this, or oh, what if I hit it too hard, what if I hit it too short, it's going to be a disaster. Incorporating Nick Faldo's what do I want to do, and the thinking and action box, I'm already seeing the results of just walking up and hitting it, and just trusting your instincts, instead of letting those negative swing thoughts go into your head, and often negative shots happen. Okay, so the third and final thing that I want to work on is having a pre-performance routine. So similar to all the other techniques, I want to lessen the time that I'm over the ball. Again, having less time over the ball gives me less time to overthink. As I cross that line, have one look and then hit. So one look, down, hit. Oh, it's absolutely lovely. Oh, we're pin high and we've got a birdie putt. I tell you what, these 3 techniques are working already. Usually, as I say, I keep saying it, I'll be standing over the ball and I'll be twisting my face and looking 3 or 4 times, taking practice swings. You don't have to do that. Right, let's see if I can do the same thing and get a birdie here. I'm just going to go straight at it. One look and then just hit. Oh my god. So good. Guys, thanks so much for watching. In part 4, I'm going to incorporate these 3 things and see what I shoot around Carnoustie and also Montefieth. So if you haven't already, please make sure you like the video. Please comment if you already use these techniques, or if you're going to use them in the future, let me know. And please make sure you subscribe for the next one. Cheers.